Shockwaves spread across the Middle East when Iran announced that it had carried out a powerful strike on one of Israel's most strategically important Air Force installations, the Nevatim Air Base, home to Israel's advanced fleet of F-35 stealth fighter jets. Iranian military officials declared that a coordinated missile operation had successfully struck the base, claiming that critical infrastructure connected to Israel's most sophisticated combat aircraft had been severely damaged. According to Iranian state media, the strike was not a symbolic gesture, but a calculated military operation designed to demonstrate that even Israel's most protected air bases are not beyond reach. Iranian military commanders described the attack as a direct response to what they called escalating Israeli operations in the region, warning that Tehran now possesses the capability to hit what they referred to as the nerve centers of Israel's air power. Within minutes of the announcement, dramatic reports began circulating across international media networks. Iranian state television reported that multiple precision missiles had been launched toward the Nevatim installation and that several of them successfully penetrated Israel's layered air defense network before striking key sections of the base. Iranian military spokesman further claimed that the operation specifically targeted facilities connected to Israel's fleet of F-35 stealth aircraft, jets widely considered the most advanced combat platforms in the Israeli Air Force. But before we go deeper into what Iran claims happened during this dramatic strike, how the attack reportedly unfolded, and what Israel and its allies are now saying about the damage at Nevatim Air Base, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest updates on the most dramatic geopolitical developments happening around the world. According to Iranian military officials, the strike on Nevatim Air Base was part of what they described as a carefully planned retaliatory operation aimed at demonstrating Iran's growing missile capabilities. Iranian commanders stated that multiple precision-guided ballistic missiles were launched towards southern Israel in a coordinated attack designed to overwhelm Israeli air defenses and strike specific strategic targets. Iranian state television reported that the missiles were aimed directly at infrastructure associated with Israel's F-35 fighter operations. According to these reports, the strike targeted aircraft, hangars, maintenance facilities, radar installations, and sections of the runway used by the stealth aircraft stationed at the base. Iranian military spokesman described the operation as a message rather than simply a tactical strike. They stated that the attack was intended to demonstrate that Iran possesses the ability to reach deep inside Israel and target facilities that are critical to its air superiority. According to Iranian state media coverage, commanders claimed that several missiles successfully hit their designated targets. Broadcast footage aired by Iranian outlets showed graphics and simulated maps of the strike trajectory, portraying the operation as a precise and carefully executed attack against what Tehran described as one of Israel's most sensitive military installations. Iranian officials also framed the strike in symbolic terms. Military commanders suggested that targeting the base hosting Israel's F-35 jets carried enormous strategic meaning because those aircraft have been at the center of Israel's long-range strike capabilities across the region. Statements released by Iranian military spokesmen suggested that the strike was meant to show that even the most advanced aircraft and the bases that host them cannot operate without vulnerability. According to Iranian state television, the message behind the strike was clear. Iran claims it can now threaten the very foundation of Israel's air dominance. The importance of Nevatim Air Base cannot be overstated. Located in southern Israel's Negev desert, the installation is one of the largest and most strategically important Air Force bases in the country. It serves as a primary hub for some of the Israeli Air Force's most advanced aircraft, including the F-35 stealth fighter jets that form the backbone of Israel's modern combat fleet. The base hosts multiple squadrons of aircraft and supports complex operations that include intelligence gathering, long-range strike missions, and coordinated air campaigns across the broader Middle East region. Military infrastructure at the installation includes extensive runways, aircraft shelters, command facilities, radar systems, and maintenance centers designed to support the operation of high-technology combat aircraft. According to defense analysts, the base also plays a critical role in Israel's strategic planning. Aircraft stationed at Nevatim are believed to be capable of conducting long-distance operations and precision strikes far beyond Israel's borders. Because of these capabilities, the base has long been considered one of the most important nodes in Israel's military network. Military analysts have long warned that installations like Nevatim would likely be among the first targets in any large-scale confrontation involving regional powers. The base represents not only a physical military asset, but also a symbol of Israel's technological edge in air warfare. Damage to such a facility, even limited damage, could carry symbolic significance far beyond the physical impact of the strike itself. And it is precisely this strategic importance that makes the Iranian claim so dramatic. Because if the reports from Tehran were accurate, the strike would represent a direct challenge to one of Israel's most valuable military capabilities. Embedded CTA, before we continue with how Israel and the United States have responded to these claims and what analysts are saying about what may have actually happened at Nevatim Air Base, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest updates on the most dramatic geopolitical developments unfolding around the world. Then Israel began to respond. Israeli defense officials confirmed that missiles had indeed been launched towards southern Israel. However, their description of the event differed sharply from the narrative presented by Iranian state media. According to statements released by Israeli military spokesmen, the country's multi-layered air defense systems were activated immediately after the missile launches were detected. Israeli officials stated that interception systems engaged the incoming projectiles and successfully neutralized several threats before they could reach their intended targets. According to Israeli defense authorities, while some debris and fragments fell within the vicinity of the Negev region, the Nevatim Air Base itself remained fully operational. Statements released by military officials emphasized that aircraft operations at the base were not significantly disrupted. According to Israeli military sources speaking to international media outlet, the installation continued functioning normally, and Israel's fleet of F-35 aircraft remained ready for operations. American defense officials also acknowledged that missile launches had occurred, confirming that regional monitoring systems had detected the launches shortly after they took place. However, according to Pentagon sources, early assessments suggested that the overall impact of the strike was far more limited than what Iranian reports had claimed. This stark difference between the two narratives immediately sparked intense debate across the international security community. On one side, Iranian media was portraying the operation as a successful strike against a critical Israeli airbase. On the other side, Israeli and American officials were insisting that defensive systems had prevented significant damage and that the base remained operational. Between these two competing narratives lies a story that analysts immediately began trying to piece together. Military analysts immediately began assessing what the incident might mean for the broader security situation in the Middle East. According to regional security experts speaking to international media, even the attempt to strike a base like Nevatim represents a significant escalation in the ongoing shadow conflict between Israel and Iran. Analysts noted that both countries have spent years developing capabilities designed specifically to counter the other's military advantages. For Iran, demonstrating the ability to threaten Israeli air bases serves as a powerful strategic message. It signals that Tehran believes it can challenge Israel's technological edge through missile capabilities and long-range strike systems. For Israel, maintaining the credibility of its air defenses and ensuring the continued operation of key military installations is equally important. This is why the competing narratives emerging from both sides carry enormous strategic weight, according to defense experts. Each government has powerful incentives to shape the story in a way that reinforces its own strategic position. If Iran can convince regional audiences that it successfully struck a base hosting F-35 aircraft, it strengthens its image as a rising military power capable of challenging Israel. If Israel demonstrates that its defensive systems neutralized the attack and kept the base operational, it reinforces the perception that its military infrastructure remains resilient even under direct threat. Beyond the immediate military implications, the incident is also being closely watched by energy markets and diplomatic circles. Escalation between Israel and Iran has historically triggered volatility in global oil markets as investors worry about potential disruptions to shipping lanes and energy infrastructure across the region. At the same time, international leaders have already begun urging restraint. Statements from several governments called for de-escalation and warned that further military exchanges could risk expanding the conflict beyond its current boundaries. At this moment, two sharply different narratives are competing for global attention. Iran claims its missiles successfully struck one of Israel's most important F-35 bases, sending a powerful message about its growing military reach. Israel insists that its defensive systems intercepted the attack and that the Nevatim Air Base remains fully operational, with aircraft and infrastructure intact. Between those two narratives lies a complex and still unfolding reality. Military analysts warn that incidents like this carry enormous risk. Even limited exchanges can rapidly escalate if either side decides that deterrence requires a stronger response. Others believe that both Iran and Israel may attempt to contain the situation using carefully calibrated messaging and limited military actions to avoid triggering a wider regional conflict. What is clear is that this strike, or attempted strike, has already become one of the most dramatic moments in the evolving confrontation between two of the Middle East's most powerful military forces. Whether this moment becomes a turning point toward further escalation or a contained episode in an ongoing shadow war remains uncertain. But the world watches closely as tensions continue to unfold across one of the most strategically important regions on the planet. Stay tuned for further updates as this developing story continues to reshape the geopolitical landscape of the region.